This session is all around boundaries and how they affect your profitability. When you have weak boundaries in your business, in your life actually, this is not just something that is linked to business. When you have weak boundaries in your business, what you'll find that showing up in your profit. Okay, you'll find that showing up in the profitability of your business. Let me give you a really, really clear, easy example. But this isn't just actually for this example. This is for all areas where you have weak boundaries, or indeed, if you have boundaries in place that you've put in place and they are rigid, they've been put in place through pain and hustle, and they've been put in place through, kind of trauma or being attacked, or those kinds of boundaries. So if you have those kinds of boundaries in place, or if you have very, very weak boundaries in place, this is going to affect the profitability of your business. It's going to affect the bottom line, regardless of whether those boundaries are in your personal life or your business life, because it is all linked. We are not able to, put things into nice and little and neat boxes and segregate it out. Everything is linked together. We have one life, we have one consciousness, all of it is linked. So if you have boundaries that are very weak or are way too rigid, overly rigid, in any place in your life, you're going to see an impact in the profitability of your business. Now, let me give you an example around time. So if you have weak boundaries in relation to time, this is a really easy example to just kind of show in a business, because if you have weak boundaries around time, what that means is that you will let your calls with clients or prospects overrun. Okay? And if you let your calls with clients overrun, that means you can have no trust in yourself that you can book back-to-back appointments, which means that you can't run your day efficiently, which means that you can't service the right number of people or the right number of clients or the right number of sales calls, because you can't trust that you can run your calls back-to-back, which therefore means you can speak to less people, which of course impacts your bottom line ultimately. What it also means is you can't actually trust yourself. If you can't trust yourself to finish your calls on time, then you're not going to trust yourself in your own decisions in your business either. And if you can't end up calls on time with, for example, a sales prospect, let's say that you say to them, let's speak at 1, I popped you in the diary for half an hour, and the call overruns, then they can't trust you either. They can't trust your word, because you've said that something will take up to half an hour and it's taken significantly longer. And therefore, if they can't trust you with something as simple as ending a call on time, how can they trust you to come on board as your customer or client, pay you money and get the service that they're expecting? So when you have these really weak boundaries, as you can see with time, it's really, really obvious, because we only have a certain number of hours in the day. And what we can see with time is that actually this will impact us overall. This will impact our profitability. There's a really easy line there between the two. So what we know is that this doesn't just apply to time in our business. This applies in all areas. Now, let me continue with the time analogy though, because if your calls are always overrunning, then it puts strain and stress on you. It means that you're not able to think clearly and do your best work, and therefore it impacts your customers, clients, and prospects. It impacts your content. It impacts the creativity of your business. It also means that you get home late every day because your calls are constantly overrunning, impacting your family as well. You can see how all these things pull together to impact your profit, because if it's doing that and eating into your personal time, if it's impacting your family life, it's going to impact your own mental health, your own emotions. That is going to have in turn an impact on your business as well. There's no separation here. These things are all linked together and they all impact each other. So understanding that when you have incredibly weak boundaries around not just your time, but anything in your business or your personal life, they have knock-on effects with each other. So let's say that you have a really weak boundary around a relationship, that you are in it doesn't have to be a romantic relationship, a friend relationship, a family member. Let's say you have really weak boundaries about the behavior that you'll accept from that person or not. Well, that in turn let's say that you're not being clear on what your boundary is with that person. Let's say they say something that upsets you. And that in turn impacts your mood. That in turn impacts how you show up to your business. It in turn impacts how you show up in your life, and therefore will impact your bottom line. These weak boundaries, they bleed into your business. Even if they're in your personal life, they bleed in because you are one person, you are one consciousness. Therefore, there is going to be leakage. And that leakage will result in lower profitability and lower money in your business. Because if you're weak with your energy and there's leakage over here, then you're going to see the result somewhere else. And that result is going to be shown in your bottom line in your business. There is no separation here. This is all one thing. And that's one thing that I want you to really understand from this session. So what I urge you to do is to look at all areas of your life, to do an audit on the different areas in your life and really hone in on those areas where your boundaries are weak. Really look and say, or alternatively, by the way, where those boundaries are those kind of really, really harsh, strong boundaries that you've put in place because of stress and strain and hustle and all those kinds of things too. Okay, so where are your boundaries incredibly, incredibly weak, or where are they showing up where they are incredible, just ridiculously strong? You've done it through a kind of FU type attitude. Okay, and you can think about these under different headings if it helps. So I want you to do this for all areas of your life, not just your business, but all areas. So looking at things like your bank account, your business, your finances, your body, weight, health, conversations, relationships, purchases, even your sex life. Okay, all areas of your life. Examining where do you have these boundaries that are not in a place that comes from a kind of sovereign type energy, but actually comes from a place of kind of victim energy or like child type energy. Okay, so understanding where your boundaries are lying when it comes to those things, understanding which areas you need to work on your boundaries, because when you do that, you will, and I know this may sound crazy to a number of people, but you absolutely will start to see an effect in the money in your business as well, because this is all about energy and how it's linked. This is all about how you are showing up in your life and how that impacts the bottom line and profitability of your business. Because we do not live in a silo, we are not able to compartmentalize our lives, that everything is linked to everything else. And the boundaries that you have in place, whether they be in your personal life or in your business, will impact your business. They just do. And so making sure that those boundaries are from a place that is clean, a place that is not in victimhood, and a place that is not in struggle, then that is going to help release things in your business as well. So I urge you to go away and do that audit. You can reach out and let me know how you got on with it, but I urge you to do that audit and let me know. And I will speak to you all soon. Take care.